Another Brooklyn trait.
Jamaica, Queens, right? If I'm right.
And Astoria.
And Astoria. Jamaica, Queens.
Cops.
I forgot. They on it. Johnny on the spot, right? You say help, and it's like 5 squad cars just right there, ready, right?
No.
Is that what it is?
Took a little time. You know, we was right down the belt from y'all, so it's still the same people.
Anyway.
But they was a little quicker than Brooklyn.
I
It
don't
was
even
quicker
know
than
how
Brownsville and East New York, which was the closest part to us.
I don't even know how you're going to sit there and say they're a little quicker.
They cared about their kids. In Brooklyn, them mugs cared about themselves like they do today.
You know what? I'm not even going to really get into it with my brother right now because he talking some bullshit. Yeah. So, you know, there was a point in time I actually was thinking about coming up with a service, entrepreneur service, right? Where I would make my services readily available to, and I think it's still a good idea, to offer me or someone from my staff go to the school for you because you're unable to make it. Just give me authorization and go down to the school and whoop your kid's ass.
But if you take Joe Blow, who's hired into Steve's whipping services, to beat your kid,
right, and my kid knows that, hey, I have this service now in order to go in ahead and come in there and give you some act right, because you should have been acting right in the first place. So I got a service to come over.
Let me create a scenario for you.
Well, let me ask you this, since we're talking about it. Do you feel as though they should bring discipline back into schools? And I think that's really where the turn went. The turn went where they was like, yo, you tell me what's going on, and then I'll take care of it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
That's my mother.
I feel that. I really don't feel as though anybody should be putting their hands on.
But I still wanted to fuck teachers up because I got fucked up by my mother a lot for them telling on me and stuff.
So you wanted to take it out on the teachers for snitching?
Yeah, they didn't even have to tell. They could have said something to me.
You wasn't fucking listening in the first damn place. What are they gonna sit there and tell you? Tell you some more shit that you ain't gonna listen to? What's up? What's good? What's happening, good people? Once again, we're back for another episode. It's me, Steve-O, Brooklyn native, with my brother from another mother, Queens native.
It's good.
CJ, my main man. So this is called The Good, The Bad, and The Game.
The Game.
Yes. So we're here with another episode. We're going to kind of get right back into this. This particular deal is, you heard about that teacher? You heard about that teacher that got on the bus? Yeah, man. I actually didn't get a chance to really look at that, but I wouldn't mind seeing that, you know, just to throw my opinion out there on it.
Let's look at it.
All right, let's check this out.
A Conroe ISD employee is no longer with the district after video surfaced that school administrators said should the employee hitting a student, knocking him down. We do want to warn you, the video is hard to watch. Also, we're blurring the face of the former employee because as of early Friday afternoon, no charges have been filed.
Oh, yeah. A video. You want a video. You want a video. You want a video. You want a video. You just hit a kid, bro.
He said, don't put your hands on me.
Losing his job, he going to jail.
Several of you reached out to KHU11 about the video, and we contacted the district. A Conroe ISD representative responded with a statement identifying the person in the video as a transportation department employee. The statement said the district is disturbed by this unacceptable behavior and that Conroe ISD police are investigating. It's not clear when the incident happened, but administrators say they were made aware on Thursday. You can read the district's full statement on khou.com.
Wow. So here we have a teacher that went on a school bus and confronted a student. And the student looked like he was a grown man. You see how big that student was? Okay. Yeah. But anyway, confronted a student, basically beating the kid down and telling him, keep your hands off of me. Okay, I got a question. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to get this answered either. If the kid put his hands on the teacher, why did the teacher have to catch the student on the bus? Why didn't he kind of handle himself or defend himself right then and there, wherever that took place? If it took place, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But he seemed to be pretty emphatic about, yo, don't you put your hands on me. Don't you ever put your hands on me, while he giving this kid the straight beat down. All right. I can guess and say maybe the kid got the better of him earlier. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we need more info for real.
Kind of bug me out on that, but
based on what we saw, it makes is a bus driver, right?
No, that was
a teacher.
That was a teacher.
Oh, it makes the teacher really look bad, but there's probably more to the backstory. But no matter how you look at it, he shouldn't be hitting on a kid less than 18 years old.
Well, let me ask you this. I knew you grew up in the same kind of, time era I grew up in. All right. Teachers was allowed to hit you back then.
Yeah, but that was with a ruler or a little paddle they had.
Yeah, they had a paddle.
And that was usually junior high. In high school, they wasn't doing too much.
That was in elementary school. Yeah, because in high school they figured you knew better or whatever. You
don't run up against one of them big kids and they might tear your ass up.
But I mean, today's day and age, since they got rid of that, I mean, I know some kids that
a lot of laws been made since then.
Probably need their ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? But
True.
I honestly feel that people just need to keep their hands off each other. But you still got to be respectful.
They really should keep their hands off each other. But there are some kids that make you want to go home and beat the shit out their parents.
Well,
that's a different story for a different day.
Yeah, because if you got a problem with it, if I have let's say I'm in that situation, I'm a teacher or whatever. If I got a problem with a student, I'm gonna address it with his parents. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be like, now, what if the parents are the same way the student is?
Yeah, then you got to beat the shit out of them. No, the truth of the matter is, you just got to bring awareness, and you got to bring firm awareness. This is disruptive to my whole setup in school, and I just don't think it's my job to raise your kid. But I mean, you got to have your kid behaving in school.
You know what? You got kids. They're grown now, but it's an inconvenience. I think we've all had that at some point, where it's an inconvenience to get a call from school, and then you have to, hey, talk to your supervisor, whoever. Hey, look, I gotta go. I actually got to go to school. Something happened or whatever,
Absolutely.
and I have to go. Maybe my kid is in trouble for doing something that they shouldn't have been doing. And now you have to take off with your supervisor. Yeah, you can go ahead. Some of them be like, yeah, well, just make sure you put your leave slip in. You know what I'm saying? And then you go over there, and then you find out it's their fault, and you try to let the kid know, like, yo, man, come on, man. This is really an inconvenience for me to have to leave my job in order for me to come down here and have to deal with this stuff.
And like my mother's famous words, and you know better.
Yeah. So, there was a point in time I actually was thinking about coming up with a service, entrepreneur service, right? Where I would make my services readily available to, and I think it's still a good idea, to offer me or someone from my staff go to the school for you because you're unable to make it. Just give me authorization and go down to the school and whoop your kid's ass.
You can't hire ex-convicts.
Well, I'm not an ex-convict. I was never convicted on that. All right. So, and then going ahead and go whoop their ass and whatnot. And, you charge them a fee for being able to do that. Now, in high school, I got to just straight up fuck them up. All right. I got to fuck them up because they should have known by the time they get to high school. That's a different story. So
But listen to this.
it's higher charges. I'm gonna charge you more because I gotta fuck your kid up in high school.
You're bringing another person who has to be on the roster to be able to pick up your kid.
Yes. You put
And
you
you're
put the
not
service.
bringing him even to pick up the kid. You're
No, you
bringing
put
him
the-
to fuck the kid up.
Yeah, but I mean, after I kick his ass or whatever, then I gotta.
You know that man's going to jail, right?
Then I gotta. No, I offer the service. The van will be outside, and I'll bring him to the house.
And the average Miss McGillicuddy teacher sees that. Oh my God, he's beating that kid.
Well, you
And
gotta.
she's going to call the police.
No, you gotta remember they wanted you to come and get rid of the kid. The kid's in trouble. Kid's in trouble already.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you can hire somebody for whipping purposes.
Hey, what should I call it? The act right. The act right
discipline.
disciplines. You know what I'm saying? Service, something like that.
Okay, so and as he should,
Mm-hmm.
Conroe ISD transportation worker arrested after the video appears showing him hitting the student on the bus, the DA says. And from what we saw, he should have been arrested. The DA's office identified the man as 45-year-old Donald Tisdale, who was working as a bus monitor at the time of the video.
Oh, he's a bus monitor.
Monitor. So
Okay.
he's an addition.
Okay.
He's a bus monitor. His whole job is to create discipline on the bus. He on the bus beating kids.
He's on the bus creating discipline.
No, he's on the bus beating kids' ass.
No, just the one. That's a big kid, man. You see that kid?
I don't care how big
Okay.
he is. That don't mean he warrants a beating. He could be big and 13. How you gonna beat up a 13-year-old?
Let me ask you something. All right. Inside the home. Inside the
I
home.
would fuck him up if that's my boy. Don't get me wrong.
All right. You just extend these services outside of the home.
But he's not gonna understand the whipping from a stranger as he would from me. You know,
I don't know.
If you let strangers beat on your kid is gonna turn into a murderer when he gets older. Because he's gonna be looking for every stranger that beat him up, and he's gonna start waxing folks.
Well, wait a minute now.
I would anyway.
Then why would we whip our kids if the potential for them to go in ahead and grow up and become murderers? Come on now. I think you're going a little bit. I think you're going a little.
If you're whipping your kid,
Right.
the chance of him coming up and becoming a murderer is slim to none. But if you take Joe Blow, who's hired into Steve's whipping services,
Right.
to beat your kid,
Right. And my kid knows that, hey, I have this service now in order to go in ahead and come in there and give you some act right, because you should have been acting right in the first place. So I got a service to come over.
Let me
there.
create a scenario for you. All right, you got your services going strong. You done hired all the right people. You got them in the right place.
We could cut our own grass, but we get,
He gets on
grass for us.
on the bus one day, and this kid is just belligerent as hell.
Who?
And then he goes to straighten the kid out, and he get his ass whipped.
He who?
Person that's on your staff.
My staff? No. It's prerequisites. Just like when you go to certain jobs, you got to lift 70 pounds. You got to be able to do certain things in order.
He ain't Bruce Lee.
No, he don't
went
have
in
to be
there,
Bruce Lee.
He grabbed the wrong kid. He collared up the wrong kid. And that kid kicked his ass up and down the bus.
I need backup. 13-year-old whooping my ass. I need backup. All points.
All you hear is, get him off me, somebody.
Hold on. Then you see 3 or 4 vans show up.
Hey, man.
Hey, hold on. Don't 5-0 do the same thing?
Yeah, they have their moments, but now they got like 500 mugs coming up for a traffic stop. So, you know,
that's what I'm
those
saying.
old days, you remember in New
5-0
York.
call for assistance, right?
You remember back
He's whooping my ass. I need assistance. This is a code 7.
Yeah, but by the time he gets some assistance, he whipped my ass.
Okay.
I don't no longer need assistance. I need a APB.
I'm just saying is that I don't know, man. This guy, something was funny about the story altogether, because I don't see why that took place on the bus. If something happened earlier, it should have took place right then and there. If this kid was,
I think that whoever presented this case left out a lot of particular details to point to this Mr. Tisdale as the perpetrator. Meaning, yes, he was wrong in everybody's eyes from what you see, but we didn't see everything that happened prior.
Yeah, I mean, well, let me ask you this. Since we're talking about it, do you feel as though they should bring discipline back into schools?
Bringing discipline back in the schools is open up a can of worms that they're not going to be able to control on the back end.
What do you mean?
Gen Zers, they're not taking that shit. You 12 and below, that shit might be perfect. 12 and above, you're going to get some.
Well, wait a minute. But like, we had it, but by the time we hit high school, you really didn't have to deal with that. You know what I'm saying?
We didn't, but
you was either gonna be one of them cats that was going through school to graduate high school, or you was gonna be one of them kids that was gonna drop out, or you was gonna get suspended, or whatever.
But the children nowadays are more volatile and more advanced, and so therefore they know the rights better than the kids nowadays. That's one. They'll get you brought up on charges, or they'll set you up for their little gang to get you after school one day. You got a lot of stuff that you got to consider nowadays, more so than you would have back in our day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you still had gangs and all that, but you're right. You're absolutely right. It's definitely different times now. How would we solve this?
I think each case warrants its own merits, but collectively trying to solve it, you got to bring a lot of people together and figure out what's the best way to deal
Well,
with it.
you know, government-wise, trying to do things like make the parents. I think parents are responsible for their children. All right.
Yeah, but
The what confuses me sometimes is that sometimes you give these kids all these rights that go against what the parents are trying to instill or show them.
that's
But
an
yet you-
attempt to
but-
protect the children.
Yeah, but
You're tying adults' hands.
right, you mess with the parents. Parents don't get it. You know, kids will sit around and tell you like, hey, you know that right there is abuse. You know, be like, really? Okay, well,
And it is a form of abuse
I thought-
if somebody's actually putting their hands on your kids in some way. You know, back in the day, they had the paddle and everything, but you know, a teacher never hit me. And I think if a teacher would have hit me, I wouldn't be here talking to you because I probably would have got put in the system
so
right away.
let me make sure that I clarify for our audience. CJ never got hit
In
with the
class.
paddle and all that in class
never.
because CJ miraculously never got caught.
It is what it is. I didn't get caught.
What it is,
and
because I know your ass.
I was a bad kid. I was. Let's put it out there. But they disciplined me by telling me, you don't do this, sit me in the back of the room, but they wasn't going to hit me with that paddle. My mother said nobody's supposed to hit you but me. And
Okay.
that was good. And I stuck with that. I said, my
Okay.
mother said if you hit me, she's coming to see you. And that really stuck.
Yeah, because I don't think they wanted them problems.
No.
And I think that's really where the turn went. The turn went where they was like, yo, you tell me what's going on, and then I'll take care of it. You know what I'm saying?
That's my mother.
I feel that. I really don't feel as though anybody should be putting their hands on.
But I still wanted to fuck teachers up because I got fucked up by my mother a lot for them telling on me and stuff.
So you wanted to take it out on the teachers for snitching.
Yeah, they didn't even have to tell. They could have said something to me.
You wasn't fucking listening in the first damn place. What are they gonna sit there and tell you? Tell you some more shit that you ain't gonna listen to?
That's subjective thought.
All right. Well, anyway, that's how I feel about that whole deal.
I mean, that's a hard situation, honestly. It's a hard situation because you want discipline for your kids, but you don't want anybody else disciplining your kids. But yet, everybody thinks teachers are glorified babysitters and they sit with your kids for 8 hours a day. And I know this guy was just a bus assistant, but he still has to deal with your kid on some level every day, and you want him to be perfect. I'm pretty sure whatever happened in that video was brewing prior. We just don't have enough information.
Yeah, because that still confuses me as far as him sitting there beating up the kid, telling him, "Don't you put your hands on me," and I'm like,
Doesn't look bad.
That
Doesn't look
doesn't-
good at all.
Yeah, because it doesn't sound like he was putting his hands on. It doesn't look like he was putting his hands on you right then and there. So I'm like, what happened that you felt as though you needed to retaliate? Because that's what it sounded like. What the way you were saying.
Well, you see the smart kid that did the filming. He said, "Oh, he's getting ready to hit him."
Well, that's a
And he didn't get the whole story.
that's another story. I think people are quick to pull their phones out before they actually get give any kind of assistance and shit. you know?
Information is knowledge, and knowledge is the key to the world.
So what you saying? So something's happening and whatnot.
Get the information and do what you want with it later, but get the information.
So instead of assisting or helping,
I mean,
they should just sit there with their phones.
Maybe that person could have assisted or helped, but there was a lot of other motherfuckers that could have assisted.
Oh,
or
so
helped,
I'll just
too.
wait for somebody else to do it. Is that what
I
it is?
mean, but somebody got to document it.
Well,
Somebody
you got
got to document it.
If you got 5 phones out, can somebody sacrifice and go help the person that needs assistance?
But who's going to say that? You're going to be the kid to say, "Somebody help him! Help him, somebody!"
No, I'm gonna help. I'm not even thinking about my phone. I'm gonna help.
But yeah, as a kid, if I seen a teacher hitting a kid and I was a kid, oh, let's get him, jump him.
Oh yeah,
That's it.
yeah. I see. Junior high school. I saw substitute teacher get jumped. Jumped outside the school. I mean, it's not funny, man.
Nah,
but-
it's funny because he's a fill-in and he probably tried to be a park hero.
But you know what's
and he
bad?
got his ass kicked.
You know what's bad about that, man, is that he didn't do nothing wrong, man. It's just that he was trying to teach, and they didn't like it because he wasn't the actual teacher. He was a substitute, but not to the point where you're gonna be outside waiting on him. And then when he was like, "Help!" the security guards closed the door. I'm not even gonna say what school that was, man. I'm just gonna say the security
Any
guards
school in Brooklyn.
saw it. What you trying? Hold up. Wait a minute. What safe area did you grow up in? I'm just trying to make sure. I know the
Teachers
place.
was down for teachers in my school system.
Oh, is that right? Oh, so the teachers would see another teacher getting.
They stuck together.
And they would be right out there.
They'll at least try to get.
And
some
this was in
discipline.
junior high. This was in junior high school. Yeah,
That's crazy. Man.
and it only happened at one time, man. But still, it was a bad thing. And then the guards closed the door. Closed the door, man. I was like this,
That say something about
Wow.
your guards, though.
huh?
Say something about your guards in your school. They should have been the one to break that up. Teachers and everybody else shouldn't even get involved. So y'all hired some.
Huh?
I ain't gonna say that word, but some really wimp ass.
I'm sorry, we didn't have the sophisticated,
We just
G,
had people that did their
G-force
job. They
type
did their
of,
job.
we didn't have the Navy SEALs that you had
No,
at your school.
We have people with
You
good
know.
fingers that would be dialed 911.
I'm pretty sure 911 was dialed. They just didn't get there in time. That's all I'm saying.
Another Brooklyn trait.
Jamaica, Queens, right? If I'm right,
And Astoria.
and Astoria, Jamaica, Queens.
Cops.
I forgot they on it. Johnny on the spot, right? You say help, and it's like 5 squad cars just right there, ready,
No,
right?
no.
Is that what it
Took
is?
a little time. Took a little time. We was right down the belt from y'all, so it's still the same people.
Anyway,
But they was a little quicker than Brooklyn.
I don't
It was
even
quicker
know
than
how to-
Brownsville and East New York, which was the closest part to
I don't
us.
even know how you're gonna sit there and say they're a little quicker.
They cared about their kids. In Brooklyn, them mugs cared about themselves like they do today.
You know what? I'm not even gonna really get into it with my brother right now, cause he talking some bullshit right now,
I'm trying to tell you,
trying to make it seem like there
Back
was such a
then-
disparity. Am I saying that right?
disparity.
I don't let
Listen, the cops would be like, "You going? No. You going?
Man,
No.
whatever, yo. Anyway, he gonna make it seem like those cats are. Oh, Brooklyn is just the worst.
What do you think? Where I was in Jamaica, the cops was the same way as they were in Brooklyn for the most part. But they would come. And the cops in
I know.
Queens was really loyal.
I know why he like that, because he live a little closer to Long Island. He actually thought that. Yeah.
Shit, there was parts of Long Island that was worse than my neighborhood. But no.
Yo, anyway,
let's get it.
We're going to go
South
ahead and
Queens.
close this one on out when it comes down to
South
this
Queens
teacher.
is
What do
fucked
you
up,
What do
too.
you guys think? I think we agree. I think we agree that, this guy, the monitor or teacher, whatever he was, I think he was in the wrong.
Definitely in the wrong
All
about
right.
per the camera.
Yeah, he definitely was in the wrong. Should have been arrested. We'll see what happens. But they said no charges, right? So far, it's been
So
filed.
far. But, the right parent come along and create the biggest situation. If there's no charges for real, the untold story is the story.
Well, that's kind of strange because that's a black guy, right?
And no charges?
And that was a white student, right? He looked like a football player, but I mean,
Yeah. Conflict of interest, right? But that obviously was something going on before. And whoever had this video media doctored it to make it look very bad for this dude. Correct?
so you're saying it could have been
It
actually
had to be some more
had
to
to be
it.
more to it because I mean, as soon as you look at the video, he on this dude's ass. I mean, he's
Listen, when you dealing
letting
with
them have it.
children, when you dealing with children, I'm an ex-substitute teacher too.
okay.
When you're dealing with children, you get vetted heavily. So much so you send your fingerprints in and they do the FBI all nation check and everything. So if this guy had anything in his record to make it look like he has even the slightest ability to do something like this, he would never get hired. So
Right.
with that being said, obviously there was some provocation and they didn't show it on film.
I mean, I've actually witnessed some bus drivers that got hired and didn't have driver license.
Bus drivers, you talking about bus drivers and that's,
Yeah,
that's
bus
some Brooklyn
drivers.
shit. That's some Brooklyn shit.
No,
for
it was
real.
here. It was right here.
Oh, well then that explains it. It's a whole nother city that bus drivers hired with no
I've seen bus driver
Look
got
at-
hired
fucking uncle work in the fucking,
and didn't have a driver's license, yo. How the hell did that? How did that work out?
That's crazy. Even I wouldn't do something
Got
like
to
that.
an accident, and that's how they found out.
Ooh.
That's how they
Remember
found
that.
out.
You know how many lawsuits can come behind that?
Hey.
When he got in the accident, did anybody get hurt?
What's this deal here that you was showing us, Ray? Ray tried to keep us straight,
Yeah,
keep
that's
us
true.
together.
Early in August, Conroe ISD confirmed that the man in the video was no longer with the district. It is unclear what led up to the incident.
So it's the same thing we've been saying all along. We don't,
So they got rid of him,
but we don't know what led to it. What
updated on the same day, 10/10, August 18, 2023. So they fired him. They definitely got rid of him, but transportation appear showing him hitting the student on the bus. Well,
Yeah, okay. Well, he got fired, but what?
that's just like a man hitting a woman, and he was arrested.
Okay, he was arrested. Was he charged?
They said there was no charges.
No charges. So
According to the Montgomery County District Attorney's Office, it shows him hitting repeatedly, but the DA's office identified the man as 45-year-old, who was working on the bus. But let's see what happened with the charges. They don't give us enough detail.
right?
He did not get charged.
Can we kind of follow this and just
come back and
come back
revisit
and
it?
revisit, see what happens, see if we get a little bit more detail on this? Because right now it's
So the detail is probably out there now since that happened in August of last year. But I'm curious as to the outcome because if there was no charges, I want to know the whole story.
Yeah.
And you guys remember this because we're going to talk about this. We're going to come back to this.
Right.
We're going to get more information and find out what the conclusion of this was and what happened to Mr. Tisdale and what happened to the student and see if we can shed the proper light on the end
this
of this.
on this deal.
Yeah.
So as of right now, we're just gonna go ahead and leave it like this.
Good topic.
We
though.
both agree.
Yes.
We both agree that he should have been arrested. And we'll just leave it at that. If anybody got any thoughts, that they want to share in the comments, basically letting us know how you feel about something like this.
Yeah.
Either way, whether you're like, yo, I'm totally against anybody else touching my kids, stuff like that. Yeah, just let us know in the comments.
Yeah, and also if anybody has more information on this particular case, share it with us so we can chop it up and see more of what happened and talk about it, man. It seems like a noteworthy case where kids are involved, and we need to shed the proper light. Also, Mr. Tisdale, if he wasn't charged, there has to be a good reason, and that's the number one reason to try to keep this open to find out why.
Right.
Thanks for listening, though.
All right. That's another episode of The Good, The Bad, and The Game.
In the game.